What would you say are the biggest stumbling blocks for starter traders?
Well, they've gone down. A lot of them used to be capital because, when I first started out, trying to get a brokerage account with less than £10,000 was really, really hard. So you had to be quite wealthy to start out. Now, because of internet, that's come right down. Technology, again, going back in the old days, to get, decent computer or to get a decent system, you're talking thousands. Now you're talking a few hundreds. Your phone or iPad can do it. So your stumbling blocks have come right down. What I think still stands is psychology, learning the business, learning yourself, learning the traits. That's still a bit of a stumbling block. But, on a lot of the blocks have actually come down.
Where do you see them making the biggest mistakes?
I think, again, emotions, getting carried away. I see it sometimes, like this week, for instance, I had a few people that have actually made a lot of money and they're getting very, very excited, and the natural tendency is, oh, I want to do more. And my view is, well, hold on, just slow down a second, just take a step back. So people can get very excited when they're making money. Of course, when they're losing money, they can get very, very down. They think, oh my God, this doesn't work. Then they go off to chat rooms and literally, want to go and vent their anger. So trying to get that stability in emotions, I think that's really key.
A lot of traders take short-term punts and then hold it for too long. What would you say is the key moment to recognise when it's time to get out?
Yeah, and that's very, very true, and I can tell you how that's true because I had the pleasure, if you could say, of when I was dealing back in the old days, I could see all the accounts, so I could see what investors were doing. Back in those days, there was a lot of things like Penny Share Guide and Fleet Street Letter, which was like a newsletter, and they were following these newsletters, and you would just see it time and time again. They would buy this penny share. If it went up a little bit, they would sell it very quickly, take the profit. If it went down, oh, it's a long-term investment, I'll hold it. So most times their account was full of losing trades. Whereas if they'd kept the winning trades and obviously sold the losing trades, their account would look great, but they did absolutely the opposite. And again, it's back to psychology because no one wants to admit they're a loser. So I'll let this trade run, it might come good, hope, which isn't a great way to trade. Whereas when they had a winning trade, they were getting scared, oh, but I've got to take the profit. And the reality is they should have done the opposite.
So how do you recognise that key moment, do you think?
Again, this is where charts and some sort of technical analysis can help. Give you a little tip. Sometimes when I've been involved in small companies, they've gone up 50, 100%. So if you've got a stock that's gone up 100%, sometimes it can be quite quickly. If you was to sell half of your position, you've now got your capital back. So what's left of the trade is a risk-free trade. So then you're risking nothing. So that's one little technique that people can use. But I think, again, back to price. If you've bought XYZ and you're expecting it to go up and a month or two later it's going down, going sideways, doing nothing, it's not what you expected, get out, move on.
What do you think are the key traits that make a successful trader?
I think patience is one of the things that you've got to have, and also you've got to almost be humble enough to realise you're wrong, and when something's wrong, you haven't got to take it that personally. Of course, we all do it because we all want to be right, but you've got to have that humility to be, say, look, I've got this trade wrong, move on to the next one, and at the same time, you've also got to have enough sort of oomph to actually make a trade, because I see sometimes with new traders, their personality is that they're always researching, they're always analysing, but they never pull the trigger. And they say, if you rehearse and rehearse, the curtain will never go up. At some stage, you've got to do something. They're always waiting for the perfect time, and there's never a perfect time. So that's what you've got to try and do.